and they have at least 3 kids, all the way up to 5. So I think it would be really valuable for you guys to learn from them and know how actually they combine busy business life and their family. So please welcome our unstoppable mompreneurs, Susan Sly, Stefania Legato, Kirsten Kirschbaum, Kathleen Degelman, Lauren Soppenbahav, and Donna Johnson. So I think some of them are going to talk about how they do it, and some of them are going to show you how to do it. But let's start with you, Donna, and just everybody know that you have a successful organization, you have a big business, but not everybody know that you also have a big family and 5 kids. So if you can please touch on that and let everybody know, how did you manage to create such a successful business and at the same time raise such a wonderful kids?
Great, thanks Marina, and thanks for doing this panel. Isn't it cool? Aren't you guys excited about the mompreneur? In fact, some of my leaders in Europe, I think, are staying up because they're so excited about this panel. And honestly, I have to say that the longer the time goes on in the profession, the more I realize how important, what an incredible gift we're giving our children to have them watch us build a business. When they were all little, I just thought, okay, I got to balance everything. They're my priority. And, you know, but now that they're older and they're wiser and they're adults and they're telling me, Mom, the best education we ever got was watching you build a business from home. So
thank you so much. Susan, you're a rock star. You're a top entrepreneur in your company as well. And you also have 5 kids, right? They're all beautiful and successful and amazing. So please share with everybody, how did you achieve that?
Wow, and thank you, Marina, for doing this, because I think last year I know a lot of women were going, you know, how do you do it? How do you do it? And here's the thing, it's never going to be perfect. And the first tip I'm going to give you is don't compare yourself to anyone else. You've got to write your own story of what's going on in your family and the demands. And some of you are single moms, some of you have a partner, some of you have help, some of you don't. I made a decision that I wasn't going to have help. And at times I think I need tequila, you know, to deal with that. But, and I'm only half kidding there, but I was the product of double divorce. I know many of us have interesting childhoods, and I just made a decision. My husband and I, like, no, we're gonna do this. And I, you know, shouts out to him. He's at home today, and one had dance, speech and debate. We've got our senior is out with friends. Our son's got something after school. He's running around. Tomorrow morning, I want to be with all of you except my 6-year-old. It's her last soccer game of the year, so I'm getting on like a 5:30 a.m. flight so I can be there, hit the ground running. Then after soccer, play dates, I've got 3 hours of calls scheduled with leaders, and then we are going to a dance recital, pick up from speech and debate, and then I'm going to have tequila. But, you know, and here's the thing. 2 of my kids were born during my build, right? And I'm sure during this time we'll all give some great salient tips for that. But my bottom line message to you is, and you've heard it before, you build with your kids, not in spite of them. Make them the reason, not the excuse. I meet a lot of moms who are like, well, you know, I'd like to do it, but my kids. No, they have to be your reason. And then, you know what? You get up every day and you make a decision that it's not going to be perfect. Sometimes it's going to be ugly. It's going to be messy. But at the end of the day, wisdom shall be known by her children. And as my best gal pal here, Donna, said, you know, the best education we can give our kids is not just sending them to great schools, but to show them what it really takes to be an exceptional human being and contribute to the lives of others.
Thank you. Kirsten, you're also a 7-figure earner and you have 5 kids. This is young, 2 months old fifth kid. So you're a very strong and powerful woman. So let everybody know how you're doing it, how you're raising your children, and still building a successful business.
Thank you. Well, I'm doing it by including them, right? And there's no excuses. I like that you said that. I wanted to bring him on stage right now because so often, it's probably the most common question I get asked. I'm going to have 5 boys. They're 8, 6, 4, 2, and brand new. And so that is really intense. This is a most intense time. No, I'm good. Yeah. You know what? No one, thank you, but no one at my house is offering to hold it, you know? I'm like, now what I need is like some headphones and, you know, like a poopy diaper. And anyway, he might get mad. But I just wanted you to see that, like, it's okay. You know, he actually, like, pooped backstage, and now he's crying. And, like, my 4-year-old got stung by a scorpion about an hour ago. My sitter's calling me, and I'm like, oh, okay, put baking soda on it. And, you know, so I want you guys to see that it's okay. And even right now, I'm like, oh, my gosh, he's crying. What am I going to do? But, like, you just feel that feeling, and you just go with it because it's okay.
Yeah, that's what happens when you involve
so
Pam to help you take care of your kids.
We can't even plan this, okay? We didn't even plan this. But often at the Kirschbaum household, it looks like that. Someone just knocked something over, and probably 2 out of the 5 are crying at the same time, you know? And it's okay, like, to get frustrated and to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so unprofessional. This is terrible. So if you guys have ever felt like that and gotten embarrassed, and you know, it's all part of the journey, and I feel like it is what makes us real and relatable. So it's all good.
Thank you. Stefania, you also have 4 beautiful kids, and you running and building the business in different countries and different parts of the world. So how do you do it?
Well, when I started building, I was also going through the divorce, so my kids were actually going through a tough time already. So in the beginning, they were not happy. They were not happy that I would lock them in one room saying, here, watch a movie because I need to Skype or do a webinar next door. Or they were not happy that I would take them to a meeting and ask them to sleep behind on the chairs because I didn't have a babysitter where to leave them. They were not happy because I couldn't cook them the hot meal. So we had to go through some sacrifice together. But I made them a promise that once we were going to go through that, we were also going to be rewarded together. And today, they're so grateful. They know that what we did, they did it with me, really changed their lives. And today they're the first ones to say, wow, we live in Dubai, we're a beautiful home, and we can go to fun parks, and we can have all those toys because of network marketing. So they're my best sponsors. They're so proud of what we did. And this is what you girls were saying. We need to make them part. We don't need to make them our excuse, but our why. And really look at them and know that we are doing them for their futures. Another thing for me was to keep them in private schools, because where I lived at the time in Portugal, the schools over there were really not good, the public schools. And for me, that was a big goal. And they're so grateful for that because they kept their friends. And now in Dubai, they can go to a beautiful international school and have their friends. So, you know, when you do it for your kids, the strength comes out, becomes the lioness, and that's it. It's done.
I think it's really important to, you know, talk to your kids like an adult and explain to them why you're doing it, engage them, as you said, in the process. And kind of like explain, this is for a season. This is not going to be forever. Yes, we're going to work hard for 3 months, 6 months, 90 days, whatever it is for you. But then kind of like at the end of the tunnel, there is a light. And we're going to go to Disney World, or we're going to go on the cruise, or we're going to go on that amazing vacation. So they know they're looking for something, but at the same time, they kind of like they understand and support you in that role, because I'm really grateful. I have 5 kids. I have 3 beautiful stepkids, 2 of my own. My son is Dominic. He's 10 years old. That I'm really, really proud of him. He's an amazing boy. I got blessed when I had this amazing gift in my life. Every time and we're working a lot, we're traveling a lot, so I have to have this conversation with him, and he understands. He really, truly understands why we're doing what we're doing. And it gives me that power, give me that energy necessary to work hard, because I know that at the end of the day, I can show my kids the world. Because I really love the way our dear friend, also top income earner in his company, Matt Morris, says, I love my kids to learn the history by traveling the world and seeing where that history happened. So I love bringing my son on the trips. I love showing him Europe. I love showing him where the history happened. But at the same time, it comes with those sacrifices necessary to be able to do that. Kathleen, I know that you have a little bit unique situation, so why wouldn't you talk about it?
My story is a little bit different. I shared with you earlier that I've been in network marketing for 10 years. The first 4 years I was single. I hadn't gotten married, and I achieved what I did, which was great. I was the first woman in that company to reach one of the top levels as a single woman, and I worked all the time because I could. And I actually appreciate that now I have these natural breaks called kids. Because 6 years ago, my wonderful husband was in the audience. I met him at a network marketing event, and I gave my presentation, and he turned to his sister, who's now one of my biggest builders in my business and a dear friend, and he said, I could have listened to her all night. And a month later, a girlfriend introduced us kind of randomly, and I mean, we knew right away that we were going to be together, and he came fully loaded with 3 great kids. And so I finally, because of network marketing, I got the family that I always wanted. We have a boy that, our son is 15, and then we have 2 daughters that are 17 and 19. When I met them, they were 9, 10, and 12. So I missed that stage, but I got to come into their lives when they were still pretty young, and they're my kids. They become my kids. I am technically their stepmom, and they are technically my stepchildren, but we actually never use that phrase. I went to work in the very beginning to become good friends with their mom, because many of us have blended families today, and there's a lot of angst, and there's a lot of animosity, a lot of negativity that happens between the parents, and it's the kids that pay that price, and I just didn't want that for our kids and for our family. And so their mom and I have become good friends. Our kids have 3 parents. And I actually really appreciate, it's interesting because in the 10 years I've achieved this level, one time as a single woman and the second time as a married woman with 3 kids. And I actually really enjoy that the kids will, as soon as the kids come in the house, I push away from the computer and we spend time together. I push away from the phone. They know that I have a very busy life, and I do travel quite a bit for work. But the kids really know that I'm there for them, and it's just been an amazing blessing.
Thank you so much. Lauren, you've been traveling the world for forever, working for Tony and helping him to run his organization and doing trainings around the world. And at the same time, you were also building your network marketing business, and at the same time, you were raising kids. So how did you manage all of that?
No, I had a defining moment many years ago, and it was, when people tell you you can't do certain things, it's because they want you to acknowledge that they know something, that they're trying to give you advice. So what happened was, many years ago when I was pregnant with my son Joss, and everybody goes, oh my gosh, being a mom, you're never going to be able to do this again. You're never going to go on an airplane alone ever again. Anybody been told that before? Like, oh, your life is never going to be the same again. And I remember I was like a keg with legs, pregnant with Joss, and I remember I was getting on a plane, and I put my hand on the plane, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get on an airplane alone ever again. And I took my hand off, and I go, that was the stupidest thing you've ever said. Right? And I caught myself, and I thought, you know what's going to make me great? I'm going to take my kids on these great adventures. I'm going to let them see the world. Why not? His first trip when he was a month old, and I think like everybody said up here, make them part of your life.
give them this beautiful experience to see your work ethic from an early age. You know, I mean, stop complaining. When I hear people complain, you got to lead from home. You know, you got to lead from home. Let them see your work ethic. When I came into network marketing, my daughter was 2 months old, and it was not the right time. I was working full time. I was teaching these events. It was not the right, someone say, it's not the right time to get started. But I was like, and then guess what? And then I went through a divorce in it. So then they have somebody else come into their lives. So the biggest thing that I would say is, as everyone said here, let them be a part of it. And we've all got different styles. Honor your style of parenting. I'm the one that like you, brings them out, and takes them around the world and takes them on these beautiful adventures. It might be different for you, but honor that, and honor that within your organization too, however other women decide to run their business with their children as well. So that's helpful.
Thank you.